I mentioned this in the opening of us kicking off this interview, and I said, one of the things I love so much about the book is that I mean, it read like a screenplay. I mean, I was watching a film as I turned the pages, and I don't always get that. Um, as you were writing this book, did you have any inkling or awareness that that was happening? And I guess I'll ask that question and stop there, and then we'll continue kind of talking about this topic.
So basically, what my process is when I do my books is I'll do all my research, which takes a while. So you got to do, for one book, my book, A Beautiful Child, I traveled to Oklahoma, Florida, Georgia, Washington, and spent a lot of time getting everything I need. And then in my head, I try to think of this, how am I going to tell this story? What's the beginning, the middle, and end?
Mhm.
I also want to tell it as if it's a 2-hour movie. So I do think of that as I'm writing it. So yes, to answer your question, I
Oh
was
man.
thinking of that, which is maybe why it reads like that. So yeah, I'm also thinking, visually in terms of telling the story. It's it's quality. I mean, this is the story itself. It's a great story. I love it myself. Not that I just wrote, not that I wrote it, but just the story of Sammy and the way the vehicle that we use to tell the story, to me, is just, it's perfect for a film. So I'm sure it will, we'll see it at some point in
Man,
time.
I sure hope so. It is, and I'm not just saying this as those that do know me. I know you don't know me that well, but I'm not one. Hell, I'm a film critic, so I'm not. I tell it like it is.
Right.
It was what it was. My job is to be honest with whatever it is I'm covering, and it is an amazing story. It's Black excellence at its best in terms of the individuals that you're talking about, not just Sammy Davis Jr., but Sonny, right? Albert Murray
Yeah.
Jr. and all of his accomplishments, his family, right? His parents. And we're talking about the days of, so some of you have maybe seen Green Book, right? So, there was a time when, right, Black folks, we couldn't go everywhere, right? But we would still take road trips and travel. Well, we needed to be able to go somewhere safe. We needed to go somewhere where we would be welcome, right? And not turned away. I mean, so, right, the Hillside Inn, that's what that place represented, right? So you're
Yeah. It
taking
was,
your family on
yeah.
a road trip. Hey, I'm going to Hillside Inn. I know it's Black owned. I know I'm going to be welcomed. I'm going to be, treated with respect. I mean, it's a lot of history in this book. So, man, I sure hope that this story gets told on the big screen. I do have, which I won't say his name, but I've told you his name. There is an actor slash comedian that I can't get him out of my head in terms of playing Sammy, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say his name. But I sure hope something happens with this, and you absolutely have a platform here with the movie Brother. So Matt, we're gonna wrap up, but before I do, I just want to kind of open things up to you. Anything you want to mention to viewers in terms of upcoming books or something that you have out, most recent book. I mean, anything that you'd like to mention, how people can get a hold of you, social media, etc. The floor is yours.
So, well, thank you. And I enjoyed this. We've been talking, we've been going back and forth,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna thank Kate, who does my Instagram site. I'm not a social media guy. I'm really not. So I have, got some stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, I'm sworn to secrecy on it. Two of my book, A Beautiful Child, and the other one, Finding Sharon, we sold. I can't
Yes.
talk about it,
Okay.
unfortunately, not until maybe 6 months from now.
Totally.
And I just started up a new project. But so you can get me on Instagram at, I think it's matt.birkbeck.author.
Yeah. And I'll
Uh,
tag him as well, right? So
yeah.
this, when you guys are seeing this, Matt's handle will be in that. So we'll make sure we get that in there. So not a problem.
And
Um,
I do have a website, mattbirkbeck.com. So, and all my work is there, my books, as well as some of the pieces I've done for different publications. I mean, I've done, I've covered organized crime and political corruption and, the whole nine yards. So, you can find some stuff there.
mhm.
And The other thing I wanted to just really point out quickly on getting back to Sammy is the Sonny Murray and his family. And, you know, I had used them. They were great people. And I knew I met his father, I met his mother. And they were just wonderful, hardworking people who went through a lot. I mean, they went through so much pain in their lives, but they persevered. And I had incredible amount of respect for them. And, you know, I hope I showed it in the book. I think I did. But
I think so.
it was really important to me to tell their story because the Sammy story is so wild. I mean, you got, you know, this dark side going on with Hollywood, and yet here's the goodness with the Murray family. And, you know, which I thought the book needed too. But I also felt it was important. I mean, some people might read it and go, why am I reading about these owners of the Hillside Inn? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. They're such a huge part of this story, you know? And
there's a parallel.
Yes, exactly. It's a parallel. You got, you know, the judge and Sammy came from the same generation, and they both persevered, you know, through some very difficult times. I mean, horrible. They went through some horrible, horrible treatment, and yet they persevered, and they were able to become successful in their own right.
Man, you kicked ass. I'm just going to, you know, excuse my French, y'all, but it's a kick-ass book. You need to go pick it up. I think you absolutely did it justice. If you are still in contact with Mr. Murray and family, man, please thank them for me, because I appreciate them sharing and you know, because yes, they, as much as you shared about Sammy Davis Jr.'s life, equally, you know, shared about the Murray family, and it wouldn't have been possible without them. So I appreciate that. You know, right. Those of you that may be watching this, and right, we're talking about, you know, periods and, you know, individuals that have been passed away for a very long time. But I think it's important, and I think it's relevant today. You know, I said it recently on a film review, and I'll say it again. You're probably going to hear me keep saying it because I'm passionate about this thing called exposure for our young people. We need to know what's out here. They need to know what's out here, what's possible. You know, you have this, you know, tremendously successful Black attorney that, you know, has done it, you know, I mean, is one of the best, right? Father was a judge, first Black judge in Brooklyn. I mean, so, I mean, there's so many opportunities out here. And I think, again, right, we can't be what we can't see. But hearing these stories, learning about these stories, about our history, I think it's important. And it's just, I mean, we're just trying to get a spark, right? An idea, hey, yeah, someone's done this. This is doable. So it's relevant. And man, I can't wait to, hopefully I get invited to the premiere when the movie comes out. I mean, I'm just kind of throwing that out there, Matt, just a little. Just like, hey, man.
Of course, I think, yeah, no, I think, yeah, I love your enthusiasm, and absolutely. So hopefully, like I said, we'll have something to talk about in 6 months or so.
Yep. I'll be in touch. And hey, thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. And yeah, hey guys, Matt Birkbeck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.